Erev Tov Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Very disturbing news here coming out this evening on Sputnik News. Finland to stage massive war games with allies in 2020. I say disturbing. If you look at this, Finnish Defense Minister Jussi Niinisto said that a large number of soldiers, reservists from Finland, Sweden, the U.S., and other partner countries are expected to, of course, to have drills in 2020 there in Finland. We want to talk about, once again, on the very borders of Russia, you have Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, all these nations here that have been doing war games, and now Finland has joined into this massive war games on Russia's border there. What can we possibly expect with trying to have good relations with Russia and continue such provocations? It is beyond me, to say the very least, to try to figure this out. Also, in other news as well, Israel, Hezbollah playing Russian roulette. That's according to the Al Monitor there. They're on the border there. It has been a tit for tat. Russia, excuse me, not Russia, but Israel and Syria. Of course, they've been at war now for many years. There has never been a true ceasefire. But it says here on October 25th, Israel unmasked the identity of Hezbollah's commander in charge of the southern Syrian front. An Iranian-backed Lebanese movement reacted a day later by releasing photos taken inside an Israeli settlement. While these acts might be interpreted as psychological warfare, they inherently reflect how both sides are striving to set limits on their rules of engagement in Syria. They also highlight the critical role of Russia has increasingly played in preventing clashes between Israel and Hezbollah on the Golan Heights. Now, by the way, Israel is talking very actively right now about entering into the conflict, not so much to engage in the war itself, but to go across the border, and as they are saying, to protect the Druze there that are living on the border there, who really are supportive of President Bashar al-Assad inside of Syria there. But I think personally this is just Israel looking to try to create a larger buffer zone, seeing as the Russians are not willing to give them more than 10 kilometers of a buffer zone on their border between Syria and that of possibly Iranian and Hezbollah fighters closer to Israel's border. You know, I really think that this is kind of something that's bit us right in the behind, because Israel should have, from the very beginning, gotten involved in this war here. We should have gotten involved. We should have came to Bashar al-Assad's aid. We should have driven out ISIS out of the country. We should have worked with Russia to do so. Had Israel done this, we wouldn't have an issue with Hezbollah, nor Iran closer to the border, or any type discussions referring to any of this to begin with. So I really feel like that this has really kind of been something of our own fault as far as the Israeli people, that we didn't get involved. I know that Ms. Livni, she, of course, a politician there in Israel, she was interviewed on RT News, and that subject was brought up on RT, and she was very much offended by the fact that it would even be suggested that Israel would have entered into the war. I don't think it's an offense at all. I think we should have entered in. Truly, we should have treated our neighbor as ourself, and remembering the very fact that our forefather Jacob signed a covenant with none other than Laban, who was a Syrian. Our mothers are Syrian. Both Rachel and Leah, our mothers of Israel, are definitely Syrians, and we signed that agreement that we would do no harm to either one. So we should have taken this battle completely different and done something about it, unless we have something to hide, that is. And I say we, because as a believer, I am a believer, a Jewish believer, but nonetheless, Israel is still my people, and so therefore I am concerned about what our government is involved in. And, I know that right now Israel's talking about going in and taking out al-Nusra. We should take out al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all of the groups there, and take a stand with President Bashar al-Assad in restoring dignity back to his country, because Syria is the closest country in the Middle East to that of what Israel is in the Middle East, and that is a tolerance for the three monotheistic religions, whether it be Christianity, Muslim, or that of Jewish beliefs. Why not do the right thing, as our forefather Jacob did as well? Also, one bit of other news that's breaking here that I wanted to share with you. Prince William warns there are too many humans on the earth. Well, and he's getting ready to have his third child and complaining about too many humans on the earth. Just seems a bit ironic, don't you think? Well, I don't know what to think of it, really. Anyway, guys, we will be getting back into doing our regular news broadcasts here where you can see my shining face there. Just dealing with many things here recently with my wife being sick. It's put a stress here for us, but we hope to get getting back behind the camera besides just doing the quick takes here. We have been, though, having a lot of fun loading up some of our older broadcasts. I found on an external hard drive there some of the old broadcasts, some amazing teachings we've been uploading on our channel called Danoon Institute. And as well, for those of you that are wanting to help with our situation with my wife there and her sickness there, we did a video on Danoon Institute. I'll load in the description below a link for that, as well as we did start a GoFundMe for my wife as well. For those of you that are not aware, she is very sick. Outwardly may not appear to look like she's sick, but she is battling something that could very well take her life if it's not for the intervention of our Heavenly Father and, of course, medical needs that are very much needed at this time. I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live, Erev Tov.